Okay, so looking at an example of working through rapid sketch and crazy eights, that's the brainstorming technique we're focusing on now. And I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to step back one, where to, okay. Can everyone see my screen okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, so working through the crazy eights is when you take 8 blocks and you have 8 different ideas, 8 different possible brainstorm solutions to solve a problem, one single focus, and then you take 8 minutes, 1 minute per sketch roughly to figure out or to brainstorm that solution. So building off of the how might we questions, we said, how might we make the online booking process easy for our persona? And we looked at Janella's, and I designed one to kind of show you guys another possible way of working through it. So my option was to say, so if you look at, can you see it?
Hmm.
Okay, so my first square, if you notice, so Angela brought up a really good point, which is some people may, so the 8 squares are not to go through like you're not stepping through the workflow. But you can have workflows within each square. So what I mean by that is if you look at my first square, I'm saying my first thought was book now. After you book now, you get the 1-2 form and then the confirmation. So that's in my first block, right? My second block idea, building off of Janella's idea, was want the same service, and then it says what that service was. So you see where it says cut and trim. So it's like want the
Yeah.
same service, cut and trim, and then they automatically go to a pre-populated form, and then they have a confirmation. So that's the second idea in the second block, right? The
Yeah.
third idea was to say, do you want to call to book? And it's just, do you want to call a book and it shows the phone number? That's the
Okay.
third option. A fourth
Mm.
option was to have panels. So I was thinking, what if they had like big panels that said cut grass, and maybe it was a picture of cutting grass, a panel of trim, and you see like a picture of hedges being cut.
Hmm.
So maybe it has like 4 big visual panels, and they can just click on the service they want. So it's very visual.
Yeah.
And then after they click on the panel, they'll see the 1, 2, 3 form.
Yeah. I like
Uh,
that.
a fifth option was to show the big pictures, but then have check boxes. And then also have, as you add a service, maybe the amount is automatically updating. So
Hmm.
like as you add a service, how much your service is going to be is also represented. So you have the 4 panels. Maybe you can check, I want to a cutting service. Maybe you can click the checkbox, I want a trim service, right? And then as you click those services, the total amount of your bill shows up here.
Hmm.
Then another option was to show a screen that maybe says, how can we help? And then maybe they have 3 different options. So maybe one option is there's a big button that says book a service. There's a big button that says talk to someone. And then there's another big button that says cancel a service. There's another brainstorm. Another
Yeah.
brainstorm was another book again brainstorm, where it says, so you can check what you want. I want another cut. I want a trim. I want hedges. And then there's a big button that says confirm last payment, confirm and use last payment. So you don't even have to go to the form, right? If you tell me it's okay, I'm just going to automatically book you and bill your credit card.
Hmm.
So that's another option. And then another option was to book recurring. So if you say book
Yeah.
recurring, you only book it once, and then you don't have to come back to the website. It's just going to automatically just keep sending people out to you
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
keep charging your credit card. So this is like an example of like a crazy eight sketch too. Whereas, so Angela, like if you had in your mind, which was the other sketch that you submitted, let me see, what was it? It was a sketch. This one. So Angela, you see how this one you were doing like you thought that the 8 blocks were you were going from step to step and eight,
Right.
right? So the way that you can still achieve this, if this was your idea, is you can just do it So the way you could achieve showing a workflow idea would be to make that workflow one block, one idea of how a workflow could go. Kind of how I did here. You see here, we're in this one block. I'm saying you're gonna book now, then you're gonna see the form, then you're gonna have the confirmation, but it's all contained within one block. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So that's the way you can present like a solution that if your solution is, if you already kind of have the workflow mapped out, that's the one way you could do that. So you see how this one block I'm showing the workflow, but in this block, and what's the block that I just show an idea? But actually all my blocks kind of have a workflow. Oh, this block right here. But this block just kind of shows a one screen approach. So it could be a combination. It can be a combination of what you think the easy flow would be, right? And then, but on this block, in this eighth, I'm just showing an idea, and I didn't show the flow, but it's still part of my 8. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you guys follow me on that? Okay. All right. So working through our second, what was our second how might we question? How might we know that someone is on the property? How might we let her know that someone is on her property?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at those ideas. What's this? No, this is the other one. Okay, here's one. Okay, Angela, walk us through this one.
Okay, so the first option is them having something in the app that lists the make, model, the car, what the car looks like, a profile picture, and then letting them know that they're on the way.
Love it. Okay.
And then the second one is actually like a tracking, like a map, like a live tracking with the car. And then at the bottom, it has the profile picture, the make, model, and the name of the person.
So the person's profile picture?
Yeah, the person that's working. And then the next one is a QR code. So it'd be like a QR code on the garage or on the mailbox, and then the worker would scan it, and then they'll get a notification that the driver is there.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
I love that, yeah.
And then the fourth one, I have a text message. It's just a text message saying the driver will be here soon. And then it has the worker's information in it. And then the next one is a notification that'll pop up on your phone, like a iPhone notification. Saying that the lawn guy is on the property. Click a link pop up saying click a link to confirm for us, the customer, to confirm. And then it shows their profile picture, make and model, and the information. And then the next one is an email notification. With the same thing, car, make, model. Like that's the email information confirmation that comes after they book.
Okay.
So once they book it, okay, this is the person, the driver, that's what he looks like, that's what his car is, the date and the time.
Okay.
And then message the worker. It's something in the app. It says that he's on the way. You can send a message to him. That's a button that they can click on. And then it has his information on there. And then the last one is like advance notice that they're on the way. So they're 2 hours away. And then they still have time to add services if they want to. And then they can click on the services to add. And then the person's information, the driver's, the worker's information is on there, the picture, the make and model, the car.
That's awesome. Oh, these are awesome. I would definitely, these will make me feel secure. What's your thoughts on that, Janella?
I agree. I love them. And that's something I hadn't thought of too. I think it was like 2 of them that you have that I didn't even think of. That QR code and then the ad services.
Yeah, right.
My only concern about the ad services though is if they don't have time, if they have another appointment after, but it's still a wonderful idea.
Yeah, good point. Okay. Yeah, these are awesome. Okay, let me look at where's Janella's.
But I
Wait.
laughed because we basically have the same ideas, but her art is just way better than mine.
Wait, where
Like,
did I accidentally close yours? Wait, let me stop sharing for 1 second. I think I may accidentally close your design.
okay.
How did I do that? Let me see.
You said quick sketch. I did a quick sketch. Literally, it's not even a
Yeah,
sketch. It's an
but
image. One picture.
mhm. But that's good though. That's the whole point. Like the whole point of oh, I didn't download it by mistake. Um yeah, that's excellent. That's what I accidentally did. It's sworn I pulled this up. Let me share my screen again. Okay, can you see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay, talk us through yours.
All right. So that power to the people is actually a fist for knocking.
Okay.
so, our technicians will knock once they arrive to let you know that they are there.
So Janella, what's the issue with that one?
Well, it'll be in our user. What's the thing that we?
You're saying you're gonna let them know, and you're saying that's messaging that's gonna be in the user interface?
Yes.
Okay.
And the worker authentication tips and guidelines.
Okay.
Okay. So our workers will knock upon arrival, and the next box they'll be in uniform. This is what our uniform looks like.
So that'll be displayed on the site.
Yes.
Okay. Mhm.
The clock is the time, the date and time that they will arrive. They'll get a confirmation upon completion of booking.
Mhm.
The next picture is a image of our vehicles and what they look like. So if you see this vehicle outside, that's what our vehicles look like.
Mhm.
The bottom one is their name badge, is the ID.
So this is stuff that'll be on the site.
Yeah, it'll
So
be in the authentication. Be sure to check your workers' badges. They will be wearing badges. This is what they'll look like.
Mhm.
The next box is a tracking number, just like Angela had. But so you'll be able to track where they are, when they'll be arriving, and who your worker is, or who your workers are. That'll be on your property and what they look like. The last box, the bottom left-hand box is an @ symbol for email because they'll receive an email confirmation. And then the last box is a phone because they'll receive text confirmation as well when the workers are out.
Yeah, so this is good. I would say for this crazy 8 boxes, 1, 2, let me see, 1, 2, 3, and 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, and 5 are actually the same idea. So those will be in visual authentication. Does that make sense? So like one idea would be that they will go to a screen and the screen would be the authentication tips. So like within that top left, you could just have a picture of the knot, the t-shirt, the truck, and
Badge.
the badge, right? So in that block, I would say online authentication guideline, and then have those 4 things in that picture, in that square. Because that's everything that's going to be on the same screen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then that would be its own idea. So then you will still have room for how many did we make? How
3
many
more.
Yeah, so you will have room for 3 more unique ideas.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Good. Okay, let's work through one more. What's the next how might we question?
I don't have any more.
Okay, so Angela, what's the how might we question you have? Did you do your how might we questions for your homework?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your first how might we question?
It was how might we make booking easier?
Okay, so let's do it. Go ahead.
I was
But-
it's kind of like the same.
Yeah, what's another, how much, but not really, because the services are different.
Right.
So what would make your booking easier for a fitness service is not the same dynamic of what will make a booking service easy for a lawn care service.
Oh, I also had how might we make viewing the stats easier.
Okay, let's work through that one. So this is what I want to challenge. I'm going to present a unique challenge. So I'm going to present a challenge so that you guys get practice on both. I'm going to present a challenge where you, in at least one of the blocks, work a workflow idea, right? How this one is, can you see where I got book now, a form and a confirmation?
Mm-hmm.
Work that in at least one of the blocks, just so you get used to that. And then the other, first of all, the second round, you guys were solid. The only thing I would adjust on the second round is, like I said, be mindful of when 1, 2, 3 are actually one thing. You know what I mean? This is actually the authentication idea.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, work a workflow and at least one just for practice. Just so that it's not foreign to you to do that as well. I just want you to just have muscle memory, you know what I mean? Working both ways. So let's work through what are we working through? How might we what? Wait, what time is it? Is it time for break? We went fast.
Yes.
It's time for break. Okay, so let's take our 15-minute and then we'll come back and tell me what we're working through. How might we what?
Make our viewing your stats easier.
Okay, yeah, let's take a 15-minute and then come back at 10:45.